Hey, Ethan Sawyer, college essay guy here. This is one of my absolute favorite exercises. It's called the Essence Objects exercise. And it takes about 10 minutes, but I think it's really worth the time. So find somewhere quiet before you do this. I want you to imagine a box. And in this box is a set of essence objects. Okay, now what do I mean by essence objects? I mean objects, each one of which for you represents an important quality or an important relationship. So for me, an essence object would be this bracelet that I have on. It's a friendship bracelet that was given to me by my wife. And I think it's cool because my wife gives me a friendship bracelet every year on my birthday. It's like the only birthday gift that she gives me. It's not like it is the actual only birthday gift that she gives me. And what's cool about it is that it takes about a year, like 10 months for this to wear off. So every year we renew our relationship, our commitment to one another with a new friendship bracelet. And she is indeed my best friend. Another essence object would be, a handful of mala beads. So my daughter, who is now a year and a half old, but at that time was like, I don't know, 5 months old or something. I used to have these meditation beads that I would reference in my workshops as being like my grounding and source of meditation and sense of calm and everything. Well, one day, actually standing in this very kitchen, we were standing right here, my little daughter, a few months old, grabs my mala beads and like just pulls, and they just go, whoa, like all over the kitchen floor, you know. And so it represents to me like a metaphor for how I had this thing that I thought was like calm, which was like life before the baby. And then like once the baby came along, it was just like, so this handful of mala beads is not a necklace anymore. It represents like, I don't know, having to like have the pieces of my calm and like restitch them back together or something, or just like a new relationship to them. So anyway, yours don't have to be, you know, complex. Like, I don't know, maybe that felt complex to you. It could be something like barbecue sauce, which I would put in my essence object box, because that represents my connection with my grandmother, who raised me in the South. And, you know, I love barbecue sauce. I put it on everything. What I want you to do is basically write down what those essence objects for you are. And you don't have to explain them. I would just write down like handful of mala beads, barbecue sauce. And I want you to keep going until you can get to like 20 of these. And you might be going like, I can't do 20. You totally can, because over the next few minutes, I'm going to be giving you some more ideas of other things that you could write down. So take a few seconds right now to think about what would the objects in your essence object box be. And you don't have to pause the video. I'm just going to go ahead and like ask some questions. So for example, maybe think about like what's a food that reminds you of your grandmother? Or what's an object that reminds you of home? Whatever home means to you. What's an object that reminds you of your connection with your father? No matter how complex that relationship may be. And if you don't have a relationship with your father, or if your father is not around, what object represents that relationship? Because it's still a relationship, or that lack of a relationship. Or if you have a father surrogate, you could use that person. What about your mom? What object represents your relationship, your connection, or your lack of relationship or connection with your mom? What is your actual superpower? What object represents your superpower? What do I mean by that? Well, one of my superpowers is being able to read people, how they're feeling. And so I would put this body language book that I read once in my essence object box, because it gave me some tools for being able to read how people are feeling. So what's a superpower that you have, and what object represents it? What's a secret that you have? Something that maybe you haven't told anybody else, or you've only told like 1 or 2 people. Write it in terms of an object. And for all these, especially if it's a person, don't put grandma in a box. Like, put something that reminds you of grandma, something concrete in the box. What's a piece of art that you love, that blows your mind? or a piece of music? What's something that makes you feel safe? What's a challenge that you faced in your life? Some big experience you've been through. Was it a divorce? Did you lose someone? Did you fail at something? Did you have to overcome something? Let's just write down one challenge you faced. And if you're thinking, well, this challenge is too real, or I'd never write about this, put down that challenge anywhere. Put down an object that represents that challenge. Go ahead and go there with yourself. This exercise is just for you. Pause the video at any time if you need to. When you think about that challenge and going through that experience, what resource did you have to draw on in order to make it through that challenge? Now, what do I mean by resource? Well, maybe, let's say you went through a divorce, your parents got divorced, and you had to draw on your adaptability, your ability to, change things up really fast at any moment. Maybe that was a resource that you drew on. Or let's say you went through a period where you had to move, from one school to another, and you had to draw on your creativity. So what represents your creativity? Is it like art pencils? Is it, something else? Try and make the abstract concept concrete. Or maybe it was a person that you drew on, like maybe your grandfather helped you come through it. What object represents that connection? What's a goal or a dream for the future that you have? What's something that you love to do so much that you lose time? It could be an extracurricular activity that's like on your resume or brag sheet. But what object represents your connection to it? Like if it's tennis, maybe don't just write down tennis racket, but like what is it about tennis that you really connect with? If it's a violin or, don't just write down the instrument. Like what is it about that? The reason I'm asking you to do that is because that'll set your connection to the thing apart from everyone else's. And everyone else who might be writing about that thing. What's a fear that you have? Or what's something that so that's like future focused, something that you're afraid of. What object represents that? Or what's a regret from the past, something that you wish you had done differently? What's a time that was like a perfect day? Were you spending the time with friends, family? What was happening? Take a picture of it in your mind and just describe that picture and put it in your object box. What's a book that changed your life? What's your favorite holiday? Take a snapshot of it in your mind. Who's there? What are you doing? What does it look like? What's something that people associate with you? Is it a piece of clothing, a particular subject in school? Something that people were like, when they think of you, they often think of this thing or this quality. Make it concrete and put it in your objects box. Finish this sentence. I wouldn't be who I am today without blank. If you couldn't come up with a challenge earlier, finish this sentence. My life forever changed when blank. What's something that you wouldn't want to reveal to just anyone? Something that would feel really vulnerable to reveal. Phrase that in terms of an object. What's an object that represents your connection with your best friend? What do you want to be when you grow up, if you have any idea? What object represents that? Career or that quality? Okay, so we could keep doing this all day, but I want you to take another few seconds or so and see if you can come up with a few more essence objects just for you. And I'll ask just a couple more questions, then we'll move on. What's a quality of yours that you feel like goes undernoticed or underappreciated? Like maybe you think you're really funny, but like no one else seems to. What object could represent that sense of humor, that like weird sense of humor? Or maybe you're really sharp or you're really organized. It could be like Post-it notes or an X-Acto knife. So what's an object that represents a quality that you have that you feel like people don't always get, like on a first time meeting you? And finally, I want you to survey your objects list and look and see which essences of yours are not yet on that list, not yet represented. And then write down like one or two more objects. Pause this video if you need to. I think this exercise is really useful for generating content and ideas, particularly for the first half of your essay. It's almost like you've got now a menu of potential mini topics, and each one of these essence objects, you can think of them as a hyperlink to your soul. In other words, if I clicked on one of your objects, there would be a story, there would be some interesting, little gem that would tell me some piece of who you are. So that's for the first half of the essay. If you're interested in another exercise that I love for generating content for the second half of your essay, you can click on the values exercise, which is going to pop up right there. And if you're interested in understanding how this connects into like all the work that I do, you can do a live workshop with me by clicking on the link that's going to pop up now, or click on the on-demand link, which is going to pop up right now, and you can get started right away. Thanks so much. Look forward to connecting.